All right, here we go again. We have another House Republican who was heckled, this time so badly he just ran out of the room. Representative Barry Moore had to exit through a back door after he was heckled at an Alabama town hall. And don't worry, I have the video. We're going to watch. It's going to be a good time. Trust me. And look, I'm going to show you what led up to this as well. But you may have seen on this channel, or if you're here from Adam Mockler's channel, I am a contributor on that channel as well, which, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below and hit like. It goes such a long way. I appreciate you. But we have made many videos on this subject. I have made multiple videos on the fact that Republicans around the country are getting heckled no matter where they go. And understandably so. Constituents are pissed. I have made 2 separate videos on Mike Flood, who has now tried to do 2 town halls, I believe, and each time has been heckled pretty badly, pretty much booed off stage. Wisconsin Republican, I believe Brian Style, I just recently made a video about him. Heckled, booed relentlessly, looked like a deer in the headlights. If we move to the Senate side of things, because trust me, it doesn't get any better there. Whether you're a House Republican, a Senate Republican, if you have an R next to your name and you're supporting Donald Trump, people are not happy. They are not happy. Senator Joni Ernst, who I made a video on, who's getting heckled so badly, people saying, you voted for the big, beautiful bill. Like, there's going to be people taking off their health insurance. People are going to die. And her responding, quote, we are all going to die, which led to quite an outrage. Again, understandably. Northern California. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. I think what people need to gather from this, before I loop you back to what happened in Alabama with this individual literally getting booed so badly, heckled so badly, he got thrown, he had to run away, is Donald Trump is underwater in every single poll. Every single poll. And I know sometimes it can feel like Donald Trump is politically immune, but he's not. He's not invincible, right? And right now, things are not good. The most recent Quinnipiac poll from just a few days ago, 37% approval rating. That's his lowest approval rating of this term. And if we scroll down and look at some of the issues that he's underwater on, it's every single one, including his top issues when it comes to immigration underwater, the economy underwater. He's underwater over 30 points on the Epstein issues. The 6 issues that the Quinnipiac poll focused on were Russia, Ukraine, foreign policy, the economy, trade, and the Israel-Hamas war. Trump scored the highest marks for his policies on crime and his talks aimed at ending the war between Russia and Ukraine, 42 and 40% approval. So that's his absolute best. His lowest issues were the economy, trade, and the Israel-Hamas war, all receiving less than 40% approvals. So again, he got elected because we're ushering in the golden age of America, except inflation is rising, consumer confidence is low, the labor market is getting crushed. I mean, people can't find jobs, right? This is the slowest pace of hiring right now as I make this video, August 30th. The slowest pace of hiring we've seen over the last 3 months in this country since 2020, right? I'm 23 years old, and I'm lucky enough to do politics / social media, as a full-time thing. And I was at Kennesaw State University, hooty hoo, which I promise I'm going to go back and graduate. But I have a lot of friends who have recently graduated from a bunch of different schools around the country, whether it's in Georgia, New York, Alabama, and everybody is having the same experience. The labor market is brutal. There are kids out there right now with college degrees who have submitted over 200 job applications and just can't find a job. I know many of them. Luke, if you're watching this video, has applied for over 200 jobs, graduated college, hasn't heard much back. My other roommate in college, same ordeal. My brother, I have a twin brother, many people might not know, just graduated, same ordeal. And so people are upset. You can't promise that you're going to usher in the golden age of America and do all these things with inflation and not do it. You can't promise you're going to go after all the criminals when it comes to deportations and be going after U.S. citizens and deporting them without due process. And so all that to say, you come to a day like yesterday or the day before, August 28th, so 2 days ago, with Representative Barry Moore in Alabama getting heckled so badly. Let's watch this first video, what led up to him getting kicked out, which I will show in just a minute. Getting kicked out, or running, I should say. Literally running out the back door. All right, let's take a look.
They want to know who pays the tariff. Is it consumers or the exporting country? So right now, what we just saw in a report is that we haven't seen inflation at all. If y'all saw a report,
that wasn't the question.
That
wasn't the question.
So if there was inflation, you would see it.
The tariff. Who pays the tariff? Who pays the tariff? Who pays the tariff? Who pays the tariff? Who pays the tariff?
Can I at least tell you about the tariffs?
No, tell us who pays it. And then you're Donna can tell
There's a
us.
couple things you need to know about tariffs, but do y'all realize that after World War II, the Marshall Plan coming out of World War II said, okay, Germany and Japan, in order to help you rebuild, we're not gonna, you can sell your cars in America, but we're not gonna force U.S. autos to sell into foreign countries. And so that's why when you go to Berlin, Germany, you do not see a General Motors product. When you go to Japan, you do not see a Tokyo, you don't see Fords, but you see Mercedes. It's been going on a long, long time.
But who pays the tariff? What's the question?
So Trump asked Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, and said, why is that? She said, I don't know. Nobody's ever asked the question. And so we'll start seeing, as we just cut the taxes on all the new cars, the interest on the taxes that you're going to get a tax credit on any new cars you buy. That helps the auto industry in Alabama because we got Toyota.
So should have paid the tariff.
So, no, it looks like the shipping companies from the foreign nations are paying because we.
No.
Have y'all seen any inflation in goods?
Yes.
It was 0.2% last month. So how can that possibly be that you're seeing inflation and it's 0.2% and it was 5% per year prior? Anyway, so you're not paying anything on the tariffs. The shipping companies, the companies are paying about the You're just not seeing it on your goods.
All right, we got
So, couple things here. First of all, really just struggles to answer the question for well over a minute. And it's just blatantly lying when he does. There's no inflation. Yes, there is. Inflation has been rising for 3-4 months in a row, whatever the exact number is. And in specific, with specific goods, we have seen major increases in prices. Specifically, I know a lot of people talk about food, vegetables, things being, a lot of technology products being imported from China. We've seen increases on the prices of video game consoles. PlayStation just raised their prices. Xbox is raising their prices. This idea that you haven't seen any inflation is just a lie. It's a lie based on the data we've gotten from the Trump administration, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which now that he's fired the commissioner for calling those numbers rigged, or at least the job numbers, I don't know what next month is going to show. Maybe that we've reached our 2% target, right? But not only is he just blatantly lying and then saying, oh, I think at one point he says the foreign companies are paying the price. But it's like, there's so much more to say about the rest of all of his nonsense. After World War II, blah, blah. This is why you don't see American cars in Europe. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. No, the Europeans are begging to get their hands on a Jeep as opposed to the Mercedes-Benz that they have right there at their doorstep, right? Mm-hmm. Do we really need to continue that conversation? Let's watch Barry Moore literally get run out of this room, and we'll talk about it. Here we go.
So there are those cases now where they're trying to clean up, and I think we're going to have to look
Clean
at
up? What? Clean up? We want him here. We don't want him here. We want them here.
Why are people not getting due process? Why are immigrants not getting due process?
So due process for a citizen and a non-citizen are different.
False. Lies. The 5th and 14th Amendments allow for it. The Supreme Court has backed it many times. Shame. Bye, Felicia.
And that's that. Just literally mid ordeal. Turned off his microphone, left out the back door. No, it's a good sign for Republicans. These are your constituents. This is Alabama, your constituents. And when you can't answer hard questions, you can't sit for 2 hours, an hour, 30 minutes, and answer hard questions from your constituents, the people who vote for you. It's a bad sign for Republicans. It's a really bad sign heading into the midterms, which, by the way, make sure you're registered to vote. So, of course, the answer keeps becoming for these Republicans, run, right? We've seen a lot of Republicans, they've just stopped doing these town halls as they've seen these videos. For a while, no Republican, like House Republicans were told you cannot do these because people are getting heckled so badly. And of course, that's the answer, right? Well, we know what's happening is bad, and Trump's ripping apart the Constitution, deporting people without due process, destroying the economy, passing a bill that explodes the deficit and the debt and rips 10 million people off their health insurance and cuts food benefits and cuts SNAP benefits. But the answer is we need power and we need control. And so when your constituents ask, do not answer. In fact, the answer is to just not show up for your constituents. Hide. That's going to go well for you in the midterms, I promise. I swear. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot if you clicked like down below and again, subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you so much for all the love lately. Truly, 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 it means the world. Please have a good rest of your weekend, Labor Day weekend. Do something fun. Let me know what you're doing down below in the comments if you made it this far. I'd love to hear from you, and I do read all of your comments. So let me know what you're doing this weekend. Be safe, be easy, and I will see you in the next video.